Hello, my friends. Good evening to all of you. It's late actually. We are here to participate with so much affection of Second World Medium Friends of Jesus Christ with Chico Xavier in your Christian Spirit work in 2022. It's always a pleasure to stay together here with you, and we can talk about our dear friend Chico. Chico for me keeps going a big enigma, and I was wondering every day when Jesus talked to Pedro one time on a beach late evening. It was a great day actually, because Jesus had made so many cures that day in Pedro's home since 3 o'clock in the morning. So people went there searching for a spiritual care. However, it was much more physical than spiritual for our difficulties. And Jesus healed hundreds and hundreds of people, diseased people. In a certain time, Simon had realized a certain tiredness in the eyes of Jesus. So it was already getting dark. He resolves pushing him away and taking him to the beach. And that beach, it was one of the favorite beaches that Jesus liked for make some meditations. And Jesus sat down in a stone, looking at the sea, and, and Simon stayed a little far away from him, but at the same time looking at Jesus. Afterwards, Jesus made a prayer like only he knew how to do it. In late evening, Simon wakened us from this admiration, from this state of trance, and then he approaches from Jesus and said to him that it was late, it was time to leave. And he observes that Jesus was crying. Tears were running down from her face. And Simon asked him, "But Jesus, why are you crying?" And Jesus doesn't respond. Afterwards, Simon, in her anxiety, said, "Oh, Jesus, I know why you're crying. You're crying because you're happy. Today, you will be able to heal blind people, paralytics, lepers, all of them, and they got their health back by the imposition of your hands." And Jesus said, "Simon, I didn't come here to heal bodies, to heal people. Some time ago, I will go talk to my Father, and I'll pray to Him that send to you the promised Comforter, the true Spirit, that will be with you forever." Of course, Simon Pedro didn't get the message, this provision of Jesus. Today, all of us, especially spirits, we understand that this comforter promised by Jesus, it was Allan Kardec, Hippolyte Léon Denisard Rival. It was a professor, and he lived in France, disciple of Pestalozzi. And he starts becoming acquainted with the tables and chairs were turning, the things that other lives with this life, as they had two lives at the same time. So he decided to study this phenomenon because it was very strange to him, and realizes there were multiple intelligences regarding the tables and chairs. And then he publishes to all of us, the humanity, on 18th of April 1857, the first edition of the Other Spirits. This work, it was a surprise for the people. It was a tumultuous thing. Actually, people knew about this, but nobody organized it, studied, and talked so openly to everybody. Some closed societies knew about this. However, talk about this so openly, It was the first time. Allan Kardec brought the scientific explanations that he could at that time. But obviously, he knew much more about Spiritism than anyone. He had the pre-revelation of spirits and precious informations that he understood that he couldn't release in that time. At that time, Allan Kardec was a medium. We can see in his posthumous works, for example, the capital called The Imitation of the Gospel. And he receives a communication that he could keep going with the translation and writing the ideas of your guide. Who translates this work is a medium. Allan Kardec was a medium, actually, a great medium. So he understood in that time it was bigger than him. So we resolved not to put some things in the works. We know about the Bodon systems. We know there's other mediums that helped him a lot. He have made some researches too. Therefore, he left a legacy for us, but it wasn't completed. As as another science, it was incomplete. The science had been launched by humanity. The people can know a lot about the science, of course. However, the science have to progress, because no science is static, because it's in danger of getting lost, of course. It evolves as human thoughts evolves too. And the human thoughts evolve so quickly. So, in this case, it was necessary that Allan Kardec to return so that he could complete this work, to complete these revelations. But he needs to complete the four revelation too. So, Allan Kardec returns as Francisco Cândido Xavier. We are talking about reincarnation. This is a thesis that some people accept and others do not. That doesn't matter. Allan Kardec came back. Francisco, it doesn't mean who comes from France. I wonder if his mother, Maria, knows about this. I wonder if she has some intuition to choose this name. Because it was very coincidence. He was born in São Leopoldo in Minas Gerais, but actually we already know about his story, his suffering, his saga. He was invited by Jesus to return on earth one more time. He has been tested on many previous centuries. He was very humble, very simple, very honest, and he realized many sacrifices in several incarnations. And he was able to renew the fast church. He created alternatives for charity. He always liked to help simple people, I mean the poor people, bringing one more time the gospel of Jesus. And this spirit was Allan Kardec. It was a big impact one more time when he was a child and started talking with that people. The publication of Parnassus from Beyond the Grave, from Portuguese and Brazilian poets, they came out of the grave and say, "We are alive, we not dead. We are here with Jesus Christ." Was a tumultuous thing here in Brazil. It was very hard to believe in simple things. However, simple things are not ignorance. People used to analyze Chico by your moral side.
'Pelo lado moral. Todos nós somos,
And we are forced to agree that Chico Xavier is an extremely moralized spirit. That's true. But regarding the 580 question of book of spirits, in your eighth chapter says that moral progress always accompanies spiritual progress. So this not happens immediately. In other words, moral progress depends on intellectual progress. First of all, the spirit needs to be intellectualized. He needs to have knowledge. And after develop the morality, I mean the moral, even because he needs to know what is right and wrong. Everything depends on the intellect. If we know the moral of our dear Chico, so we have to recognize the intellectual greatness of our Chico, of our friend Chico. More evolved he is, more developed intellectually he is. But unfortunately, most people don't think about this. People used to say every time, oh, it's because Emmanuel, oh, Emmanuel said this, Emmanuel said that. Chico is a spirit that he's fully aware what he wants. He can make your choices. He can say, ah, this is my way, this is what I want. I have no doubt that sometimes Emmanuel asks Chico for help. Chico, what can I do? Where am I going? Help me, please. Please, what can I do? We cannot forget about the level of intellectuality of this spirit that went through by so many things, developing, improving his intelligence so advanced. So, if he's considered the one of the most involved spirit that has been working on earth, is of course he's one of the spirits more intellectual that has ever walked the face on earth. But a few people pay attention to it because Chico was very humble. Chico was a very simple person. He demonstrated this in his attitudes. He was very simple. He has achieved the humbleness actually. The meekness, it was your primary characteristic. So it was through passer beyond the grave, from beyond the grave, that people woke up to reality. As far as the humanity evolves, it's necessary to make some revelations. And the spirits knew, the all Christ knew, that it will not be easy to return of Chico in the next years. It was very hard. So his existence it needs to be enjoyed the most that we can. So it was very hard to program some details. The question is the place where he can be, where he can return, where. The problem is that. That's the problem. He made some 30 books, 14, and afterwards, a few people could imagine that he sent that he write 100 books. It was a big work, bringing the reality to all of us, bringing revelations, big revelations to us, to humanity. We can see in the books of Emmanuel and Andrea Luiz too. Chico always said several times, we need to study the interlines of Andrea Luiz, the interlines, because it was not just romance. It's not just romance. It's a story. It needs to be studied so we can understand the interlines. We have to reflect about this, about what he's saying, in order to can we can be mature, in order to be understand some things. So there are much more things in the books of André Luiz and Manuel. So there is a precious information accompanying the evolution of the 20th century. Everybody knows about this. In the century 21, it was very important to us. Somebody needs to a medium prepare a medium to understand these things, bring these informations, accompany the technological evolution and spiritual too. And he left to us a big message for us, enriching with an impressive content. When we read our home, we have an impact, a big impact, because this chapter was not here. It was because our mentor was very far along away. So many years passed, so he get more mature, and the experience here in life is always favorable because our Father offers to our kids precious opportunities to progress. But we used to say, "Oh, our Father, oh God, God is strict on me. God is not good to me." However, God does not put in anyone. John used to say, God is love. God is not punishment. God's not bad. And these opportunities are opportunities of growth. No one involves in joy. We involve during the hard times, during pain. Our aiming is the spiritual growth. And Chico came to prove this to us. He chose a simple life, very poor, and demonstrating all the time that giving is need to have goodwill, make charity. You don't need to have money. So invariably, we have seen many speakers saying, "Oh, you need to have money to make charity." But this is not true. This is not true. You need to have goodwill, you know. So suddenly, he receives the visit of the Queen Isabel, asked for him, asked him for help. It was the spirit of the book, Our Home. In this chapter, bonus hours. So, she asked for help, for him help. So she asked for him the offer that he can offers to poor breads, just breads, pieces of breads. And he said, "Oh my goodness, I don't even have money for me. How can I send to other people?" And she said, "This bread will never miss for you." And the next day, he goes to under the bridge with your sister Louisa, and he knew there were many poor people there. They were eating, they were starving. So he took the bread, cut off in so many into many pieces, and delivered it to the people who accompanied these distributions. It were the people. He never stopped. Chico never stopped because he loved what he did. And sometimes someone complained to him, "Chico, stop it." Some person went Here, he ate 4 pieces. And Chico said, "Oh, that's good. This shows the bread it was very good. It was delicious." In some situation, his godfather, his godfather died. However, Chico didn't have any money to bury him. So he decided to just land door to door and asked everybody for money. And he got it. Some people get scared with his attitude. But however, Chico got it. The people helped him a lot. And he got it. He was able to bury his godfather. And he got very happy. Chico got very happy with this. So charity, in resume, charity, you to make charity, you need to have goodwill. Of course, the money helps a lot. And Chico always says, the hungry are in a hurry. It was a parable of Jesus, actually. So he decided to went out to sow and all over the world. He made some impacts in the world, especially Brazil, with your works, with your sacrifice. My mother once said to me that when it emerged the book Our Home, many people got scared. They didn't accept that it was a crazy thing, thinking about darkness, spirituality, spiritual colony, food, then spiritual in the plan, spiritual plan. Some people say, "Oh, come on, stop tripping. This is not true." But Chico Xavier said he didn't know about this. So he shut up. He decided to shut up because if by any chance he said about the colony, imagine if he speaks about the other things. So he told us during psychography there our home. In the chapter The Bonus Hours, he didn't get the message what it was written there. So he asked for Emmanuel to explain a little more about the bonus hours. So Emmanuel decided tomorrow I'm gonna take you to the our home just to see how does it work in the spiritual plan. So he asked for him to make a light food. And during his sleep, he went there to spiritual plan. So he came back, he started to write one more time about bonus hours. Of course, he knew about bonus hours, but however, he just wanted to know that the rating of André Luiz it will be accessible to everybody. He needs to get better the language in order to everybody could understand the message of that book, Our Home. Even now, much people do have discussions about this because they didn't get it, the message. They think, oh, I think it's like this. Oh no, the other say, oh no, I think it's like that. So I would like to tell a little more about André Luiz. But is it possible to talk about other spirits too? André Luiz and Emmanuel, they were able to write what they wrote because they had a Chico, a media like Chico, because Chico offered big knowledge for him that they feel so free to develop the stories. It was it's a good thing. They were actually, André and Emmanuel, it were very intelligent spirits, but they had they need to have a little more, a much more affinity with Chico. They need a better person. In this person was Chico. That's why this works. It were revolutionary. The old Chico said, in the future, these books will be studied in the universities. But, however, André Luiz and one that they only would be able to write them because Chico Xavier helped them a lot. Emmanuel had the access of Christianism. Yes, this is true. That's true. But the files were and the old Chico. So the old Chico, it was the files of Christianism. So Emmanuel listened in his coexistence with Chico Xavier. This coexistence didn't exist with Chico. As a Roman senator, Emmanuel refused himself to follow up Jesus. It was a very difficult moment. This dialogue with this Roman senator, with Jesus, it was huge. It was massive. So it would be impossible to write this dialogue in a one book. It was impossible because it was very, 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 very huge. It was reduced in one book in order to understand a little better this situation, this story. So this file is the all Chico Xavier. Yes, this is true. This is true. It's all Chico Xavier. Everything that Manuel said, everything that André Luiz said, Chico Xavier actually had this knowledge because he was very sensitive. Chico offered an intellectual material for him. They were very, very useful. When we started talking to a people, to a person, very, very smart person, this person demands from us a donation much bigger than that we have. We have to pay attention to our words. We have to pay attention what we're gonna say. And this person take off from us what we have the better. And after the dialogue, we thought, oh my God, what this conversation was so good. Oh my God, it was amazing. This happens with Chico. A spirit when he approaches someone from Chico, Chico offers what he has better for him. Because he was very, very developed. He was very smart. Chico Xavier, it was one of the most evolved spirits that came to Earth of all times. The needs of the smart. So when the Emmanuel joined with André Luiz, so this intellectual of Emmanuel, it were very developed with the André Luiz. This forms a big collection of books. He bailed out these stories for us. So Chico wrote a book, Our Home, and afterwards he were deeply another book called Evolution in Two Words, which demands a deep knowledge to make it. And I started writing mentorships mechanisms. They also demand the same. They also demand mathematical knowledge. So, behind the Chico, there was a group of spirits that came to Brazil. A spirit like Chico, when reincarnates, there is a big, big reason of benefactor spirits to help, not only for help, but for learning too. So in the book, The Endowments of Mediumship, in the first chapter, it is a big, big, big book. So the things mediumnics in there, it was amazing. It were amazing. But however, Allan Kardec didn't know they knew there was a big revelation on this. So the instructor, author, he was disciple of Mesmer, the father of magnetism. Afterwards, he lived together with Allan Kardec in France, and he makes part of the word of Allan Kardec just to publish the revelation spirit, the spirit revelation in this world. And afterwards, he comes here to Brazil. Oh my gosh, I wonder why did he come here to Brazil? Why? What did he came here to Brazil? He came to see, just to see, just to see Chico Xavier. He just wanted to see the practice of mediumship of Chico Xavier. Chico, he was very young when he came here to Brazil. When the author Aus came here in Brazil, Chico, he was very young. But he just wanted to be next to Chico Xavier, just to help him. It was a very big field of observation. And how our dear Chico, dad who came from France, Francisco, how did they say? How did he develop this field of mediumship that the world has never seen before, with all intensity? So was a reason, and it still is a reason of study here on Earth, because we imagine in the future there are others Franciscans will come here in Brazil. We can imagine this. This is true. And Francisco one more time came here to Brazil in honor, just to love of Christ. The professor Raimundo Gama, he said a lot of times, he said that Chico at the beginning, and São Leopoldo, Pedro Leopoldo, he spent some time totally solitary and talked out loud, completely alone, feeling sad. And after a period, 2 years, I suppose, let me say that it was a parable of Jesus Christ. It was very interesting to reflect and think about it. It was a big characteristic of your humbleness. So he was feeling a little sad, and he asked Emmanuel, "Why I'm speaking so loud if nobody was there?" And Emmanuel said to him, "I'm gonna talk to Jesus, to Lord Jesus. I'm gonna ask him for permission, okay?" Jesus always had the connection with Jesus Christ, so Emmanuel had to ask to Jesus Christ for permission. So afterwards, Emmanuel returns, said that he got the permission to talk to him. But he wanted to translate this in a simple language. And he had this connection with Emmanuel, with Chico, and vice versa. And after the spiritual path, he saw about 2,000 spirits in the cell. And I repeat, when a spirit like Chico returns on earth, he wakes us the curiosity, because he's an authentic professor, he's an authentic teacher. And I wonder what these 2,000 spirits were doing in the salon. Because we're not joking. We are talking about a project of Jesus. There is implantation of message of Jesus Christ here on earth. Came to our disciples, your important disciples. And I understand the situation. I understand, I believe, in my humble opinion, that these 2,000 spirits were here learning with Chico, watch him, evangelizing, listen the word of Chico. Chico, listen, Chico, talking about Jesus. It was actually a course of evangelization. So in order, so these spirits, they will reincarnate here on earth, and they will reincarnate with gratitude, with love of Chico, be evangelizing for Chico, learning with Chico, learning to use their mediumships with Chico. But every curse has your end. So these 2,000 spirits reincarnated, and then appear the other 2,000 spirits on earth, besides Chico. So these two others 2,000 spirits, they reincarnated too. And I understand today that we are these spirits actually. I understand this. We are these 2,000 spirits that were living with Chico in some time. And why we do have this admiration for Chico? Why do we have this love for Chico? Why? Why we get so emotional to talk about him? I remember to watch so many times in Uberaba that Chico got emotional. And a man said to him, Chico, I come from Roraima, and I came here to shake your hand and to hug you. And he hugged Chico, his hand, and Chico said, "These sincere friendships motivated me a lot. This made me happy. This motivated me to keep going." So I understand this 2,000, 2,000, another 2,000. It spread all over Brazil. Some people to go, some spirits went out to another countries, but the most of them are here in Brazil. So they reincarnated here in Brazil, home fatherland, home father Brazil. That's why we have this admiration for Chico. That's why we have this love for Chico, this unconditional love for Chico. The book I Came Back, um, Jaco said, Emmanuel spent 700 days besides Chico, admiring Chico, but he was learning with Chico, learning so much things about it, evangelizing him. We know about the Valerie case. Chico had a new, actually indoctrinated so many spirits. It was a work non-stop. And I repeat, when a spirit like Chico reincarnated here, thousands and thousands came behind him. So when a series returns there on earth, a group of spirits needs to come behind him. So that's why we have this sure, absolutely sure, to win these adversaries of the life. So When a spirit comes on earth, returns on earth, thousands and thousands and thousands of spirits came to come here too. So the fact that we are here in Brazil, we are here on earth, helped us a lot. In some moment, we participate of this life of Chico. So we have a companion, and we know that this process. I know. I guess. I suppose many people are trying to change the books, his works and his books, but we have to strive ourselves, and try to stop it, this thing, because many people are trying to change his works and his books. I remember in seventh, many young people disincarnated, and suddenly they show up and they say they were alive, still alive, and the death is not the end, bringing the comfort, bringing the evangelization to young people, to mothers, to fathers. So these parents and these mothers and fathers, they feel a big comfort just to know the kids were still alive. So these spirits increase their revolutionary process. These spirits makes part of that group of 2,000 spirits that were with Chico Xavier, with gratitude and with love, but above all things, with gratitude of Chico. We cannot allow that this information can destroy the message of Christ, the message of Chico Xavier. We cannot allow this. Emmanuel is the medium of Christ, actually. Emmanuel and Chico Xavier. And this work belongs to Jesus, belongs to us. And these works cannot be destroyed by any information of somebody. Many speakers are showing that mediumship is from of Chico Xavier. It was very strong. It- so there are many spirits that now live together with Chico. And some of them were 3,000, big part of 3,000 spirits of that spirits that were besides Chico Xavier in that time. So have learned a lot with Chico, and you are returning, publishing this message, proving that what Chico wrote during 40 or 50 years ago, the science is proving that it's true. And many others will come here, Brazil, by the love of Christian. Because personally, particularly, I have many difficult to imagine Jesus, but I have very facility to imagine Chico Xavier. There's a protest book. The entire book is that if Jesus were here, what he gonna do? It's a bestseller, and I recommend a lot this book. So one of the most difficult moments of my life, my personal life, my doctrinal life. What God gonna do if Chico Xavier were here? If you believe in Chico Xavier, the answer will come. We came in here by the misericordia of Jesus Christ. It's not because Chico died that he will return the plan, the spiritual plan, suddenly. No, no. Chico is here. Chico is here with us. In these difficult moments, he will help us. He has to help us. Chico actually said, talking about the people who helped him write the books. This group of spirits that I have here in Niterói, Rio de Janeiro, was created by him. So, my grandfather founded the group of spirits here in Rio de Janeiro. So, my mother was born in a spirit home. My aunts and my mother were born in a home, spirit home. My father was not spirit, but he was a homeopathic spirit. And my mother growed up listening to admiration of Chico Xavier. He grew up hearing these things. So my mother, she started to attend the Spiritist center. My mother and my aunt were spirits. My father was not spiritist in that time. And he said to me, I have no religion, but you have to follow up the spirit of your mother. My mother started dating my father when she was 12 years old, and he was 13 years old. He was a spirit, and many people didn't like him, her religion. And my father came from a Catholic family. And my mother said to him, with 12 years old, and my father 13, she said, if you are dating workouts, I want to tell you that I will not get married in a Catholic church. I will marry in civilian. So what's up? Do you want me even though? So he said, yes, I do. So they get married in civilian. There were not marriage in church. My grandmother was very brave, and my father didn't give a hoot because everybody who knows my parents, they love each other. And 7 months that my mother died, my father died afterwards. So then my mother asked to Chico, so do you think this is time to found a group spirit group? And he said, no, for the time being, no. So suddenly one day, and they were at the back balcony of my house, and she was always smiling, always happy. He said to him, Lenny, it's about time to found our spirit group. And my mother, she got frightened because I didn't have any experience. But my mother always thought that what she could say, it has to be done. So she founded our spiritual group 1 year later. And today, me and my siblings are running this center. Some people lived with my mother, some people not, but makes part of this group 2,000 spirits. It was thousands and thousands of spirits. It was millions of spirits that evangelized, that prepared before reincarnating. And his spirits were very important to us. So, when we started our conversation, Chico, a friend of Jesus, it was actually an unconditional friend. That friend that accomplished with your commitments every time Jesus asked him. He came here with love and affection. And this was your last incarnation. And we had the happiness to live together with him. And for those who didn't live with him, make sure that this admiration, love that we feeling for him, it was because we had the connection in preparation before reincarnating. So our commitment is really big. Commitment to fight, perseverance, commitment to keep this integrity of Jesus message. The fight is only beginning actually. I will repeat the phrase of Big Joe with Paulo de Tarso say too. You're crying, you only cry when the fight is only begin. Our commitment is not to only our incarnation, it's to eternity, actually. It's with Jesus and with Chico. Let's walk with them, with courageous, with determination, with love, with affection. I'm pretty sure we're receiving these spiritual accesses. And we are living together. God bless us. Much peace to all of you, and thank you very much.